for Coach Saban, this offseason, no room for error. He's got a hit on offensive coordinator. He's got a hit on new defensive coordinator. These have got to be home run money, big-time hires. He's got a hit on any different position coaching hire as he's bringing in. If he's trying to reestablish a culture of dominance at the University of Alabama, if he's trying to return to winning national championships at a strong clip, if he's trying to get back to that meanness, toughness, nastiness, physicality, being the most feared team on the block in college football, then these next moves in terms of the coaching staff he's about to make, these have all got to be hits. Can't afford any misses this time around, especially with the momentum going on there at Georgia where Kirby Smart and the Bulldogs are concerned. But while we await what happens offensively, we get into the defensive part of the conversation, that being defensive coordinator, with Pete Golding gone after 5 years of serving in that role. He's now at Ole Miss under Lane Kiffin. And the question that we were asking ourselves is, where does Saban get the new defensive coordinator from? Which direction does it go in? How should he move? How will he move in terms of bringing in the next defensive play caller? And even bigger than that, does Saban go inside the program for the DC, being loyal to his guys that are already in the program and maybe bumping those guys up, promoting those guys up, granting those guys an opportunity? Or does he get fresh, objective, honest, innovative eyes outside the program to come in and really fix this thing up and put Bama back to where it needs to be at and where we have grown accustomed to seeing the program at? Now, for me, personally, I have leaned more so toward getting the guys outside the program because when you're dealing with people that are not in your ranks, they have fresher eyes, they have fresher innovation, they have an intent that will not be biased. They're going to tell you, if you suck, bro, you just suck. And here's where you can get better. If you're not where you need to be at, they're going to be honest with you. You ain't where you need to be at. Let's just figure out how we can get you back right. Like, if you're not in top tier, people who are outside of your ranks that will come in, take a look at you, will let you know, hey, bro, you are not popping like you used to pop. You ain't shaking like you used to shake. So let me help you get back on the pedestal here. Let me help you get back on the horse, because clearly you've fallen off the horse. It's like life alert. I've fallen and I can't get up, but I'm going to help you be able to get back up. This is why I'm just saying I would go with objective eyes outside the program. But we're going to see how Saban goes about this. Now, you do have 4 objective eyes outside the program that have been targeted. Those 4 eyes, that would be Jim Leonard of Wisconsin. That would be Glenn Schumann of Georgia. That would be Jeremy Pruitt, who was recently at Tennessee, and also the New York Giants as a senior defensive analyst. And that would also be Jimmy Lake, who was recently the head coach of the Washington Huskies. So these 4 eyes are your objective innovative eyes outside the program, and the top 4 names in the discussion to potentially replace Pete Golding as defensive coordinator. Now, of these 4 objective eyes, all 4 of these guys have a different story, right? When you discuss Glenn Schumann at 32 years of age, again, he started off his career student assistant, graduate assistant for the University of Alabama from 2008 to 2014. He witnessed, 3 national championships in that span, 2008, 2011, and 2012. 2015, became a director of football operations, where he saw that 4th national championship for the Crimson Tide. He goes to Georgia in 2016, teams up with Kirby Smart, now back-to-back national championships. Now, Schumann would be a big get for Alabama. Huge get, great defensive mind, strategizer, schemer, game planner, a guy that's also an exceptional recruiter. But the question would be, how long would he remain at Alabama? Because he's interested in being a head coach at some point, as a lot of people are. You're interested in going up that chain of command. So if you get Schumann, it'd be fantastic. But the question that would linger in the back of your mind as an Alabama fan, okay, we got this brother, but how long is he going to stay here? Because he young, he hot, he innovative, he big time on defense. At some point, some other school is going to come calling. So how long would we have Glenn Schumann? It's kind of the same thing with Jim Leonhard. Jim Leonhard, young, innovative, energy, electric, can put schemes together. He did this at Wisconsin. But the word is Jim Leonhard at some point wants to be an NFL head coach. So while you could get him, Bama could get him, and it'd be great, but how long would he remain at Alabama before the first NFL job that comes calling and he jumping ship to the NFL? So those be those two guys. When you look at Jeremy Pruitt, I could see more stability there just due to all the stuff that he encountered at Tennessee. It would be about 5 to 6 years before another team would come calling for Pruitt. So that would give you more stability. That would give you more continuity. If on top of that, we know what Pruitt is at Alabama. I mean, come on. He played at Alabama under Gene Stallings, if I'm not mistaken. He well-respected every high school in this state, especially at Hoover, the show Two-A-Days. Yeah, Pruitt was a part of that on MTV. Pruitt, as far as at Alabama, the university in Tuscaloosa, 2007 to 2009, player development guy, 2010 to 2012, coach defensive backs, 2016 to 2017, defensive coordinator. So Pruitt would give you stability, if he was to come in here. And then you would have Jimmy Lake, who's an older guy, 46 years of age. One of the big things Saban likes about his defensive coordinators, do they have a defensive backs background? Were they a DB in college? What was Jimmy Lake? He was a strong safety at Eastern Washington from 1995 to 1998. And then Jimmy Lake coached DBs in the college level and the NFL level for Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Detroit Lions. He was a defensive coordinator at the University of Washington from 2016 to 2019. And during that period, the Huskies became a defensive backs NFL draft factory. I mean, Lake was putting multiple 2 and 3 DBs at a time in the first round of the NFL draft during that tenure. You look at names like Taylor Rapp, he put in there. Buda Baker, he put in there. Kenny King, Kevin King, he put in there. Sidney Jones, he put in there. Marcus Peters, he put in there. Just names on names. Jimmy Lake was putting those guys into the first round of the NFL draft. And also, from 2016 to 2019, Washington gave up under 20 points per game in those years. The Huskies had quite a few 10-win seasons during Lake's tenure as a defensive coordinator, got to the college football playoff a few times, so Lake did work at Washington. And the rumor was, before Saban settled on Pete Golding in 2018, Jimmy Lake was his guy. So you got to throw that caveat in there. Now, Lake, it did not pan out for him as a head coach for the Huskies, but I've always said this. Not everybody was born to be a leader of men. Not everybody was born to be a CEO. Some people were born to just coordinate. Just give them their cubicle, their responsibility with their respective group, they shine. I mean, like, kind of in that same boat there. So those would be your 4 guys. Schumann, Pruitt, Lake, Leonhard, that would be your objective eyes outside the program that can help you. But we all know Saban. He's loyal, sometimes loyal to a fault, of his guys that have worked hard, risen through the ranks, been in the program, served their time. He wants to kind of give those guys an opportunity. So if Saban goes that way with inside the program, here are these names you can look at. You can look at Freddie Roach. You can look at Sal Sunseri. And you can look at Todd Grantham. Freddie Roach, who's right now defensive line coach. He's been the D-line coach since 2019. 2019 and 2019, 2020. And so, Freddie Roach, you could bump him up to D coordinator, have him be the D coordinator and the defensive line coach together. You could do that for Freddie Roach. You could. But is he ready to run this defense? I understand Freddie Roach played at Alabama 2001 to 2005 as a decorative linebacker, but is Freddie Roach ready to run this defense and get it back to playing elite-style ball? Could be, but is he? Or he'll be a guy inside the program. And you look at Sal Sunseri, who served in an off-field role this past season. If you were to bring him back to an on-field role, Sunseri does have DC experience. He was a defensive coordinator at Tennessee in 2012. He was also a D coordinator at Alabama A&M 1998 and 1999. Do you bring Sunseri back on the field? We've seen what he can do with outside linebackers. We saw that. So do you bring Sunseri back on the field? And then you have Todd Grantham, of whom is a defensive analyst off the field, but we have seen him in the SEC coordinate defenses, whether that's been at Mississippi State, Florida, Georgia. He was also at Louisville coordinating defenses. He was a D coordinator in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns. So do you have Todd Grantham in the spot? There are 3 names inside the program that you could choose from if Saban goes in that direction. But the question is, what should Saban do? What does Saban do? Because he's done this before. He went from inside the program before, where Kevin Steele left. He bumped up Kirby Smart to DC. That paid off, right? It did. 4 national championships. It paid off. When Pruitt left, when Kirby Smart left, he bumped up Jeremy Pruitt. It paid off. National championship in 2017. But there's also been moments where Saban has gone inside the program and it didn't pay off. He bumped up Tosh Lapoy. That was a disaster. It did not work. He bumped up Pete Golding. For 5 years, we've seen this Alabama defense steadily decline. That did not work. Then Saban has went outside the program before, when he first pulled in Pete Golding from University of Texas, San Antonio in 2018, going outside the program. That didn't work. So we've seen this happen for Saban from both ends. But what should he do? Should he go outside the program, get objective eyes that are not going to lie to him? They're going to say, look, Saban, this is what you need to do. Get this thing right? Or does he trust his guys inside the program and get somebody inside?